Hey there, welcome back to Legend Finance. First time renter? You landed just right. Today, we're slicing through the apartment renting jungle, tackling budgets, leases, and sidestepping pitfalls. Remember, you're not just paying rent, you're investing in a service. Let's dive in and ensure every penny is well spent. But before we do, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on tips like these. Now, let's get going. Rent versus condo. Apartments and condos, they're just not the same thing, you know. Let's break it down a bit. Picture this. You're living in a huge complex that's filled to the brim with dozens, maybe even hundreds of apartments. That entire complex, owned by just one person or company, and every single tenant in there, paying their rent to that one big owner. If they're on the ball, you might get some cool perks like an online portal to pay your rent or a 24/7 maintenance hotline. But let's face it, sometimes it's not all rosy. You could just be a number to them. They might bump up your rent every year and only do the bare minimum to keep you happy. But when you flip to condos, the game changes. A different person owns each condo in the complex. Sure, one person might own a couple of condos in the building, but it's rare they'd own the whole lot. As a condo owner's tenant, you're really important to them. Part of your rent is likely helping them pay their mortgage, and if you leave, they're stuck finding a new tenant and potentially dealing with a vacant condo for a while. If they've only got a few condos, that lost rent could hit them hard. So they're going to value you as a tenant, probably won't hike your rent every year, and they're likely to go the extra mile to keep you satisfied. And let's not forget about the noise. Condo walls and floors are usually thicker and better at blocking out sound compared to what you find in apartment buildings. This especially holds true if the complex was originally built as condos and not apartments that were later turned into condos. So if you're a light sleeper or just not a fan of noisy neighbors, a condo might be a much better fit for you. Cost. So when we're hunting for the next place to call home, the golden rule is this: choose a place where rent is around 30% of the take-home pay. But rent is just the tip of the iceberg. There are other costs to consider too. Parking fees are a big deal if a car is part of the picture. And if there's a pet in the mix, then don't forget to account for pet fees too. You might find a great place, but a single parking spot could be a deal breaker. Paying an extra $100 a month for another spot? That sent the budget out the window. Move-in costs can feel like they're springing up from nowhere. Between the first month's rent, the security deposit, and potentially the last month's rent, the initial cost can be a steep climb. And let's not even get started on application fees, pet deposits, and move-in fees. What about furniture? If this is a first-time rental, new furniture may be tempting, but it's not always the best bet. With the possibility of moving in a few years, that new furniture might not fit into future plans. So the smart move is to opt for second-hand items. They can always be sold later, probably for about the same price. And utilities. These can sneak up on us if we're not careful. Sometimes they're part of the rent, but often they're not. A bit of research is needed to figure out what the utility bills will look like. It wouldn't be fun to be floored by the first electric bill. Asking a previous tenant or a neighbor for an estimate can be super helpful. Those costs need to be factored into the budget from the get-go. It's all part of playing the smart rental game. Visit. Listen up before settling on a rental spot. Always see it in person. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Deposits, leases, and all other things should wait until you set foot inside that unit. Beware of flashy sample units shown by cunning apartment complexes. They may not be what you get. Property owners asking for deposits sight unseen. A hard no to that. Yes, the lure of signing a lease unseen might be strong, particularly for long-distance moves. Resist. Opt for a short-term Airbnb stay and start the hunt once you're in town. Countless online tales from regretful tenants will attest to the pitfalls of signing a lease and paying a deposit before visiting. It's simply not worth the risk. Here are some potential issues to avoid. Ending up in a dodgy, high-crime area with noisy neighbors fond of stomping, or worse, finding creepy crawlies or rodents in what was supposed to be a dream apartment. These issues aren't apparent until the visit happens. Prior to that, check online reviews of the complex under consideration. Look for recurring issues that give a real sense of resident problems. A crime density map on Trulia offers valuable insight into the neighborhood. During the visit, engage with local residents and potential neighbors. Most will offer a genuine view of the living conditions. If the unit under scrutiny is occupied and the tenant is present, pose questions about neighbors, unit issues, and their take on the owner. Gathering this intel can fend off a year of regret. Lease. All right, let's dive into the juicy bit. Topic 4, the lease. The playbook here is simple. Scrutinize it, decode it, and question it. Remember, this is a contract we're talking about. It's a deal that binds you to shell out thousands of dollars for, usually an entire year of occupancy. Getting a solid grasp on tenant rules and responsibilities, that's not just crucial, it's non-negotiable. Why, you ask? Well, consider this. What if the lease includes hidden gems like a fixed $100 repair charge, regardless of who's at fault? Or what about a total ban on open flames, even if it's just for your favorite vanilla-scented candle? And hey, what if you have to give a heads up about moving out 3 whole months in advance to get your security deposit back? These aren't hypothetical scenarios, they happened in real-life rental adventures. And get this, how would you feel about a surprise $200 fine for letting your trash bins sit out overnight after collection day? Yeah, we didn't think so. Renter's insurance. And for the grand finale, let's chat about renter's insurance. No kidding, you need it. This magical insurance has got your back if things go south. Your personal belongings are damaged or stolen, a friend trips over the carpet and breaks a leg, or even when your rental becomes the scene of a horror movie and you need to relocate temporarily. Renter's insurance is a superhero that has a solution for a boatload of problems, and the kicker is it's dirt cheap. We're talking around $15 a month, so no matter who you are or where you're putting up, if you're a renter, this should be in your arsenal. Now, how do I get it? Hit up any major insurance provider like Progressive or Jayco and fill out their online application. A quick phone call might be needed to seal the deal, but trust me, it's a walk in the park, so no excuses. Before we wind things up, here's a parting shot to ensure your security deposit comes back to you in full. On day 1 of moving in, before your stuff invades the rental, do a video walkthrough. Go all Sherlock Holmes. Open all drawers, inspect appliances, play with the faucets, and scrutinize floors, walls, and ceilings. Spotted something broken or dirty? Document it in the video. This gives you an ironclad defense if the landlord claims you caused damage that was already there. This video could very well be your free insurance policy to safeguard your security deposit. Got more renting queries buzzing in your head? Don't be shy. Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation rolling. And that wraps up our guide to renting your first apartment. Thanks so much for joining us today on Legend Finance. Hopefully, you found these tips helpful as you embarked on this exciting journey. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty more finance tips and tricks heading your way, so you won't want to miss out. And remember, navigating the world of finance isn't just about the money. It's about the freedom it gives you to live your most legendary life. So until next time, stay legendary.